what's up everyone? My name is Jeff and today we're going to have some fun playing Magic, and I love being able to break new cards. And this isn't in Strixhaven we got Kasmina Enigma Sage, which isn't exactly new because we're towards the end of this segment before the next set comes out, but we still haven't done all the broken things that we can with it. And so Kasmina says each other planeswalker you control has the loyalty abilities of Kasmina Enigma Sage. And one of the best things about this is that there's a +2 ability. And so a lot of the planeswalkers only have +1 abilities. They can now have +2 abilities and get them up to their ultimate really fast. And so there's a lot of different planeswalkers that get up to ultimates really, really fast. That can be really fun with this. With this one, we're trying to just break Jace, Cunning, Castaway. So Jace, Cunning, Castaway, 3 mana with 3 loyalty, and it's let's just go down to the -5 ability because that's what matters. -5 ability says create 2 tokens that are copies of Jace, Cunning, Castaway, except they're not legendary. And so we can make more copies of Jace, Cunning, Castaway, and if we have the ability to get it up to 5 loyalty and then activate its ultimate on the same turn, then we win. So we also have Oath of Teferi, which says you may activate loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control twice each turn rather than only once. We also have Vorinclex, which just doubles the loyalty counters whenever it uses the ability. And so that's another way that we can kind of, or when it enters the battlefield, they'll enter in with double the counters. And that way we can just automatically go for the -2 ability with him, which is create 2 blue illusion creature tokens with creature becomes target of spell, sacrifice it. Or we can have Kasmina to use the -X ability and make massive fractal creatures. And so we have a few ways to be winning with this and doing cool stuff. Jace, Cunning, Castaway is a decent card just by itself. It creates a 2/2 blue illusion. We can block with it if we need to. We can also, whenever one or more creatures we control deal combat damage to a player this turn, draw a card, then discard a card. So we can have a little bit of filtering effect. Narset goes and finds all the pieces that we need. Kasmina, Oath of Teferi, Jace, Cunning, Castaway. Then we also have just other pieces that are nice. Teferi with Oath of Teferi and Kasmina gets up to its ultimate ability of taking 2 extra turns really fast. We have +2 twice a turn, so we can add 8 loyalty to this within 2 turns, which is pretty insane. And we get to activate, once each turn on, and this can activate on their turn as well, so we can actually get up to its ultimate fairly quickly. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria is just good. It fits with the flavor and everything like that. It's just a really powerful card. If you can draw lots of cards, untap lots of lands, it can be good. We actually don't have a ton of ways to interact with stuff at instant speed, unfortunately, because we need to have ramp to be able to get to the stuff a little bit quicker with Arboreal Grazer, Growth Spiral. Those are just good plays in the early game. Make sure that we can protect our Planeswalker a little bit better with Grazer. And then we have Wrath of God. We're fine killing our Arboreal Grazer, which is our main only creature that we have besides Vorinclex and the ones that Jace, Cunning, Castaway makes, or Kasmina. And that's basically a deck. Wrath of Gods, Teferi type, Master of Time, and Hero of Dominaria to be able to have some removal. I know it's later game, but we're kind of really hoping to find the Wrath of God. We have Narsets, we have Scries, we have other ways to try to make sure that we do find it. And otherwise, Oath of Teferi into all this stuff means that we can hopefully win. And that's the deck. Let's go and dive into the gameplay, see how it does for us, and wish me luck. Here we go. Before we dive into the gameplay, a quick reminder to hit the subscribe button. Spoiler season for the next set is right around the corner, so if you want to hear my analysis on that, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can be aware of when new things are coming out with spoiler season. All right, let's dive into the gameplay. All right, up against a Catsucle, and with only 2 lands, no way to ramp up into anything else, we mulligan this one away. We need to be able to get up to 3 mana to play a creature or planeswalker right away. Man, unfortunately, I think we have to mulligan again. All right, I mean, it's not great, but we'll keep this one. We'll drop Oath of Teferi and Teferi Master Time. I'm not even sure if I can actually play Narset, but it lets us find the other pieces we need. Oath of Teferi is one of them, so cool. The awkward thing is that I can only put a land card from my hand onto the battlefield tapped. So, okay, there we go. Now we have the blue mana there with this. So, Forest, Grazer, we can put this out on white. The awkward part is I need to put it out on blue. Can I choose which side of it I put down? I can't. See, that's the annoying thing with Arboreal Grazer. Growth Spiral lets us, does it do the same thing? No, Explore lets us actually play it out which side we want it to be. So yeah, pathways are a little bit awkward for that. It means we don't get Narset on turn 3. No attacks, pass the turn. All right, well, they have dinosaurs. That's a little bit terrifying. And they get to cost very, very little. Gives this one haste, swings in for 4. This one has menace. I'm not sure that, you know, I think being able to protect Narset might be better. Yeah, let's say no blocks. Down to 15. Wrath of God. Not white mana, unfortunately. So blue, Narset.
I have practiced against many, but keep an open mind.
I think it's Growth Spiral. Teferi could be a nice thing to play if we don't find white mana, but I feel like I need to find white mana. So let's try for Growth Spiral. No attacks past the turn. Ripjaw Raptor. Yep, draws a card. This Wrath of God is looking amazing. Ha, don't draw a card. Take that, fool. Gives it haste. They should swing everything at face, I believe, here. They might swing the, yeah, Frosted on there because we can't actually block it with Menace. So, block here. Stop a little bit of damage. Come on, white mana. I believe in you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's game, unfortunately. And there it is. One card away from it. Actually, wait. Do we have it with that? We do have it with that. Just kidding. I'm going to stop complaining. I'm okay. Yep. It's all good. It's fine. Oath of Teferi. Well, we need to find a Planeswalker at some point. Unfortunately, these are legendary enchantments. We can't have multiples. Is there a way to create a non-legendary copy of enchantments? I know there's lots of ways to do it with creatures nowadays, but I'm not sure about otherwise. Gives it haste, hits for 5. Protection from blue is actually awful for us, so we need a board wipe. Protection, is it protection from blue? It's protection from blue. This is a blue fractal that we make. So we're dead. Yeah.
Fate is too dangerous to leave unfettered.
Ah. Yep. Game.
The laws of reality could use
Doesn't matter anymore. They have it. Yeah, protection from blue means we can't block, so it's fine. We found another Wrath of God, though. We were so close. Alrighty then. This is definitely a long shot kind of deck, and so it's okay. We're gonna have fun with it. All right, up against Hilm Ben, we have double Growth Spiral, but not white mana. I'm gonna keep this one though. Breeding Pool tapped, pass the turn. We definitely want more blue mana than green mana. So Growth Spiral, put this on blue, and then Breeding Pool tapped. Hopefully find white mana. Gilded Goosey. That's white mana. All right, so yeah, blue mana here. Pass the turn. I guess I should have gone for it there just because I had the chance to find an Arboreal Grazer and get out more lands all at once. All right, yeah, Wrath of God is going to be really nice in this matchup. It's Collected Company stuff. See, I had the Grazer. Dang it. All right, submit this one, play it tapped. All right, so let's go Growth Spiral. I don't need to shock it for anything, right? Unless I just play the Grazer as a blocker. Yeah, I just play it tapped. I think we're trying to dig for the Wrath of God to then hopefully do some stuff with it there. Vorinclex does help us out a little bit, especially with Teferi. So yeah, we want board wipe into Vorinclex. That would be the best play. Venturous Impulse. Down to 18. Teferi lets us find white mana better than Narset does, I believe. Narset can help us find more stuff later. I could play Grazer and Narset and have a chump blocker. Doesn't help a whole lot, but it could stop them from drawing cards. They don't actually draw cards with this deck, though. They just get lands with value. So I want to be able to play a land this turn. So play out Teferi. Draw a card. Get rid of a Narset. Actually, I can play Grazer now as a defender. All right, pass the turn. Shadelight Ranger gains lots of life. That's fine. Oath of Teferi would also be pretty sweet stuff. All right, block here. We don't care about the life total. I could have like phased out the Wild Growth Walker so he wouldn't gain life and do as much stuff, but it really doesn't matter to me too much here. We just need to find the Wrath of God. And so block there, draw. There's white mana. We also now have Vorinclex online, but I really need a Narset as well, just to find the other pieces. And so lose out on Vorinclex, but find other pieces. That's a tough choice. Let's shop the Narset. Yeah, because Vorinclex with Teferi is a combo already, so submit that one.
This used to be easier.
Gilded Goosey. I should have used Teferi then, but it's fine. All right, so draw a card. Another Wrath of God. Get rid of Grazer. Sweet. All right, so we know they're going to be playing some Collected Company. Not yet, looks like. Well, it's a Citadel off the top. Yikes. Alrighty then.
Time to improvise.
That's a Jace. Jace with Vorinclex is infinite, alright? They, so we can phase out the Gilded Goose so they can't spend the mana to cast the Bolas of Citadel, maybe? Hopefully. So I think we get rid of Wrath of God here. Vorinclex. Do I protect Teferi here? Draw a card.
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
Get rid of Island. I can play out the land, but I also want stuff to discard to try to find something to go with Jace. Like a Kasmina would be pretty nice. So yeah, I believe that it would enter with the extra counter. So we're in decent shape. Man, all right. Pass the turn. Do I need to phase out this Gilded Goose? I don't think they played a land here, so no attacks. End turn. Phase out Gilded Goose now. And I don't think this is a land. Okay, good. They can find a land, but it's not a Bolas' Citadel this turn, which means Jace goes off with infinite. It doesn't actually totally win us the game, though. Okay, Jace. If Vorinclex gets in for any damage, we get to draw our entire deck as well. So Jace enters with 6 loyalty counters. We create more Jaces. They all come in with 6 loyalty counters. This is going to get really annoying. That sound you're hearing, that's going to be bad. So we have infinite number of Jaces. What can we do with an infinite number of Jaces? We can make infinite number of tokens. We can also create infinite numbers of ways to draw cards with Vorinclex. So we can draw an entire deck and have 3 more mana to then create, to do what with it? More Teferis. All right, so let's do this a few times. All right, so I can make infinite number of these guys. I'm just going to show them the combo. I can also draw with as many as I want with this guy. So we have that ability. Let's draw and discard. All right, well, let's keep going with this. All right, let's keep going. So they only have enough creatures. We can get in with for 1 point of damage with Vorinclex right now. Yeah, because we have the trample with that. All right, so now let's do this a few times. The main thing that this will help is that we can find a Memory Lapse. So we get to draw our entire deck. Oh, whenever one more creature control, yeah, so we get to draw a card and then discard cards as we do it. So, but we get to find Memory Lapse and one other card. And so as long as we can stop the Bolas's Citadel, we're good.
It's a matter of give and take. It's how you play the hand you're dealt. Let's try this.
All right, so how deep do we need to go to make sure we find? I think we only have I think we have 4 copies of Memory Lapse, and right now we have a few of these. All right, so last one, we draw 16 cards. That should be fine.
This will come in handy.
All right, now I'll start making more extras. All right, so go to combat.
I'm up for a challenge.
All right, so we deal 6 points of damage. We get a few triggers. We get to dig through our deck, resolve. Let's get rid of Breeding Pool. All right, Kasmina we keep. Teferi we'll keep for now. Trying to find Memory Lapse. Teferi's also decent because it does get rid of Bolas's Citadel after a turn at least. And so do I keep Kasmina? We already have the infinite combo right now already, so we get rid of Kasmina. So we already have a Memory Lapse. So we're good. We'll keep Oath of Teferi just as an alternate win con, or to have it again, I suppose. We have the take 2 extra turns with that as well. Another Jace, Cunning, Castaway. I think we have enough of those now, so I'm not too worried. Draw more cards. Another Grazer. And a Teferi, Master of Time. Okay, so now we keep making more. Okay, good game. We have Memory Lapse. I'll say it.
When a plan comes together, we'll make this war of me. Who doesn't like that? Manipulation. Told you I could figure it out. I had no idea I could do that either. Love it when a plan comes together.
All right, so we need to make enough of these that our 2/2s can get in and guarantee get the win. So around 40. That's fine. We can do it. All right, so we have 26 right now. All these guys actually stay on the battlefield as well, which is nice. So we have them again for the next turn. So like, we're fine. We're good. Doesn't matter what happens to Vorinclex. We're still in good shape. All right, so start making 2/2s. There we go. Good game. I think they're trying to wait to see if I drew out the game first, but as long as I switch up which activated abilities I'm using often enough, the game won't draw out. That is a sweet card art. That's the new one I'm using. Yeah. All right, up against BNJ, and this is a beautiful hand. Keep this. We have the double white for Wrath of God. We have Grazer for a little bit of ramp. We have Kasmina on turn 2 if we want it, which I just might want that. Okay, play out Hallowed Fountain tapped. Pass the turn. Memory Lapse to interact when we need to. Let's see if we're up against elves. That's what I'm feeling. Maybe not. All right, well, I think we play Kasmina. Let's play this out on blue. Make him not think about the Wrath of God as much. They might be able to play out something really big here, but we'll be able to block enough, I believe. Temple Garden on top for the Oath of Teferi mana. Yeah, keep it on top. No attacks, pass the turn. A Shia. Oh, just like all the ramp in the world. Yeah, we can get rid of that. Do I want this on blue or white? Okay, Wrath of God. And opponent scoops it up. Yeah, I was gonna say, a well-timed Wrath of God is usually all that you need, so good stuff. My guess is that it's a Shia Nissa, just like massive amounts of mana, and then they probably have Finale, Devastation, and Crater Hoof as the win cons. Honestly, that's a pretty straightforward deck. Just all of the ramp creatures that you can, have a Shia and Nissa, and then have Crater Hoof, and maybe Ugin if you want to play Ugin as well, or something like that. Like, it's honestly, it's a decent game plan. All right, up against Chrono. Reminds me of Chrono Trigger, which was one of my favorite games of all time. Have you guys played Chrono Cross? A lot of people have played Chrono Trigger, or at least know a little bit about what it is. But did you ever play Chrono Cross? That was also a really good game. Maybe not as good, but it was decent. All right, Wrath of God is looking nice. Unfortunately, we don't get to play this out on blue with this Growth Spiral. Man, Growth Spiral just kind of keeps feeling awkward. We don't have to actually put a land out on the battlefield with it. We can decline to. Memory Lapse. I guess if we're not really trying to go for the ramp here anyway, we can just Memory Lapse this, force him to draw it again. Keep the life total a little bit higher. Play out Narset now. We really need to find the land, though, so maybe it is Growth Spiral here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we can play out, we can hold up Memory Lapse by shocking ourselves. So play this out. 2, and I want this on blue mana now. That's the turn. White mana, we really only have the Teferi, Oath of Teferi, and Wrath of God, and so it's nice, but I want to play this on Muxus as well. We have another one. Actually, this is the turn that we might want to just Wrath of God instead. So yeah, let it through. Take 6. Wrath. We need to find another Wrath of God though, and quick. All right, play that tapped to Teferi. Tick up.
Let's make this quick. I do love.
It's a lot of memory lapses. Honestly, it's pretty good for this matchup. So yeah, sure. Maybe I should be phasing this out so things don't have haste. Stop before they go to combat. Goblin Ringleader. Cool. Also has haste. Didn't find a whole lot. That's good. Okay, so they can swing it to Teferi. We tick up and we at least save our butts a little bit there. There's Jace. Get rid of one Memory Lapse. Another Teferi. Let's play Narset. Draw a card before we
Hone your prowess.
start discarding. Grazer. Get rid of Grazer. A blocker could be really nice, but that's what we got. It's 6 points of damage. If they can cast anything else here, so putting at least something on top helps us a bit. Snoop. Okay, so we're not dead now. That's something. Sweet, they're not killing our Teferi. All right. Get rid of a Jace.
I don't have time for this.
All right, so let's draw first.
Time to improvise.
Get rid of Breeding Pool. That wasn't the board wipe we wanted. Okay, so Teferi, Master Time can stop some damage. This can tuck the guy that gives haste, but they have another one. And that's 6 points of damage right there. So it doesn't actually help. Jace can bring out a blocker. How much mana do I have? I have this Teferi, but it means I can't actually tuck anything with it. I can bring this back to their hand, which does help a little bit. The other option is this Teferi and face something out, but I think I'd rather play out this Jace.
Can you really trust your eyes?
Yeah. All right, now we need to find board wipe. It's necessary at this point. I think we have to memory lapse this again to keep them from being able to play something really busted there. I want to keep having them draw that same thing. So they can play it out again, that's fine. But that means that they don't have enough to play anything else. Actually, now we're dead. Right.
Ideas like seconds are fleeting.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. See if they see it. Yeah, good game. Okay. All right, well, we needed two Wraths and we didn't find it. I want to be playing more Wraths, but we also want to have enough combo pieces to run into combo pieces at some point there, you know? So it's rough. All right, up against Crypt Creeper. And white mana for Wrath of God, still difficult to find. We're going to get there, though. We have Grazer into Memory Lapse. Hopefully Narset on turn 2 would be the better play. Stop some card draw. Land. White mana. Hallowed Fountain. I believe in you. Well. Grazer. Play this tapped. Come on, land. Memory Lapse can at least let us slow it down a little bit. Hopefully get to Narset, Wrath, all the stuff that we need. Narset might also tuck away all of our white sources. Oh, not like this. On blue, play Narset. I mean, they haven't played creatures yet, so maybe we don't need Wrath. Maybe it's a different kind of deck. We already have one, yeah, so let's go for, man, Memory Lapse. That was a lot of non-land cards, so there's a high probability of there being a land on top. Hey. See what I mean? Play this. Let's actually activate this first.
I have just the trick for this.
Another Oath of Teferi. Well, we'll take it. I was on a lot of lands, so it means not a lot of chance of more lands. Fortunately. Play this tapped. I can play double Memory Lapse, but I think one is fine. They already know that we have it anyway. Yeah, pass the turn. That's something that would be nice to kill. Yeah, it's fine. If I find land, I want to play Oath of Teferi here and blink the Narset. That way they can't just kill it right away. Comes back with 5 loyalty. What kind of response can they have here? Target Narset. Reset. All right. So Jace Cunning Castaway doesn't quite get us there. I mean, we can start going exponential even if we just find a Jace Cunning Castaway now, where we can take up twice. Unfortunately, Grazer won't be able to do any kind of damage, but we can take up twice. Yeah, and then hopefully start getting to the ultimate. We can start just every other turn we double the number that we have, and then hopefully find Kasmina and stuff. We can find ways to draw and filter through. So we should be okay. Dread Presence can be annoying, so it's probably Escape Shift. Yeah, Scape Shift with the guy that has everything be every type of basic land. So they're not going to draw a card there.
So much commotion.
Very surprising. Want to scoops it up. Sweet. I feel like there wasn't enough game played there, but having Oath of Teferi out, having that many cards in hand, I can see how they probably thought that it was over at that point. Sweet, we'll take it. All right, so the deck went 3-2, 60% win rate. We were on the draw actually 4 times, that's a pretty big deal that we still were 3-2 with it. So the deck is fun. Wrath of God is a huge deal. Some decks you just have to have the Wrath of God. And then there's other cards. The other thing we could probably bring in is Karn. Karn actually shuts down lots of things, and it lets us go grab, what's it called? Grafdigger's Cage. Lets us grab, a lot of things that are just necessary. And so instead of Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, maybe we can like run 1 or 2 of those and maybe run 3 of these somehow, fit it in just for more hate in the deck. Being able to activate it twice in a turn is pretty sweet with the Oath of Teferi to be able to grab 2 things. So there's lots of different planeswalkers we could play with. That's nice with Kasmina. Being able to +2 on that to then activate it again. Like that's actually one cool thing you can do with Kasmina is, you know, +2 to scry, -2 to go find something right away, and that way you can always keep it, be able to activate multiple times with Oath of Teferi and everything. So that could be nice. At the same time, though, sideboard went down to 7 cards, which definitely limits the amount of value that play can give you. At least if you're going to have it out for multiple turns and keep doing it over and over again, you only get the 7 extra cards, which is still 7 extra cards, but you want to make sure those cards are relevant for certain decks, and only some will be relevant at all of the time, you know? And so, yeah. Other thing we could have brought in is maybe some ways to proliferate. There is Flux Channeler, which could be good for proliferation. Karn's Bastion could be good for proliferation, and then I forgot the other one, the one that proliferates anytime lands into the battlefield, just to give a little bit of extra proliferation because we are playing Planeswalker Tribal. So there's lots of different ways to go with this deck. I try to play the things that would give us the highest chance of having the pieces that we need and going forward. It's kind of funny, the only one that we actually worked with Vorinclex, and I tried to have that not be the main thing because it's already been out and available. I wanted to play a different version of it, but Vorinclex was the one that we comboed off with. And so honestly, probably 3 copies of Vorinclex is good, and then still have Oath of Teferi's, Kasmina's, and stuff like that, because it's still a good play. But Vorinclex with Teferi is good. Vorinclex with everything is just good. And so you can probably play a completely different kind of deck with that. Kasmina is fun, but not necessary. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.